Hi, this is Linda from Go for the Joy, and I'm on the phone with Michal from Winnipeg. And Michal is packing up and ready to move on to other adventures. And so just looking for a little guidance as to where the energy is leading her next. Would that be fair to say, Michal?
Yes, it is. Good morning, Linda. It's wonderful to be with you this gorgeous fall day, and I'm excited to hear where or what in my adventure can be called to my attention now to just allow me to just have a little more information and a little more consciousness as I go forward.
Yeah. I should let everyone know that Michal works with a number of different modalities and is also a medium. And Michal is constantly in question, lives her life in question. She's a friend of mine, and I'm quite in awe of her journey and how she approaches life. So this is a woman that's always, always asking questions and never stuck in her story, though she has lots of interesting stories that I'm still discovering along the way in our friendship. Don't see her very often, but when I do, we have a lot of fun. So the first question I pulled for you, Michal, is power. And with this card, I'm hearing that you have stepped into your power. You're owning who you are now. And there's no more hiding from the world the essence that you be. And and I just like, it's like they're cheering you on. There's a huge celebration for the huge strides that you've made here in the past 6 months. And most specifically in the past month. In the past month, you've done enough questioning and working that you have shifted your physical being, I'm hearing, in a major way, with support as well, physically from other people, other practitioners. But this is primarily about the work that you've done for yourself. And so there are still old energies playing out, but it's going to be much more gentle than it's ever been for you. And you will see as each day passes a magnifying of physical well-being. As each day goes by, one day you'll wake up and think, boy, I haven't felt this good in such a long time. And okay, so what else around this power card? I'm hearing it's time for you to spread the message, to spread the information and the wisdom that you have to share with other people, especially other people that are struggling, because now you're able to do it in a way from a very objective point and offer them exactly what they need in that moment in time. And again, I hear this congratulations in order, because you truly do come from an objective viewpoint now, and also a non-judgmental and willing just to let things lie as they lie with other people and not be invested in the outcome. So that is a huge gift that you have to offer people.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next card, which goes along nicely with that, is inner authority. And I'm hearing congratulations again. Looks like there's lots of confirmation for you here. You are your own authority, and you have come to realize that no matter what anyone else has to offer you, you're the one that discerns whether it's true for you or not. There is a opening coming again for you where you will be even more strongly connected to Source and your guides, and in a way that you cannot deny the information coming through. You're very clear on the information coming through for yourself, but sometimes you question it when it comes to other people. But as you broaden your horizon, as you broaden your experience and your availability to the world and to the people that you meet, you'll be more confident in the information you receive for them. Okay, that's that card.
Thank you.
The next card is commitment. There is so much celebration for you. And this card's been pulled for a couple of, from everyone recently that I've done this for. This is that you have committed to yourself. You have committed to your well-being. You have committed to loving yourself. And that's why there's so much celebration. It's like, woo-hoo! She's got it, babe. She's got it. And with that is going to bring you so much joy, more joy than you've ever experienced in your life, because you truly have committed 100% to the core of your being, to you. And that's the first time in a long time that, well, you've never done it before.
True.
And so now this is your time to reap the rewards of it. And it's very, we're in the fall and the harvest time. It's reaping the rewards of everything that you've sown over the past 10 years as you've been on this journey of discovering who you are in relationship to the world around you and what your walk is upon this earth. And I hear it's quite a gentle, loving walk, and the earth actually sings as you place your feet upon her.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, isn't that lovely?
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And the next card is truth. And this is just to remind you to live your truth always. To not falter in the decisions that you've made in the moment. And also to understand that those are always in flux as you are co-creating with other people. So as the energy is changing, to remember to be true to the energy, if that makes sense to you.
Yes, yes, it certainly does, because I find that more and more if I allow the people pleaser on the bus and I do something that I know doesn't feel right for me, man, does the universe give me a slam real quick. It's so instantaneous the minute it comes out of my mouth. I almost feel sick at heart.
Right.
And so, more and more, even as I open my mouth to let the people pleaser on the bus, it's almost like a part of me goes, don't let her on, don't let her on, it's not going to be a good ride.
And you are paying attention to that voice.
Oh, I'll tell you.
You can't help but.
Yes, it's never good to let the people pleaser on the bus.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. People pleaser on the bus. How many of us let the people pleaser on the bus? Mm-hmm. Invite them to join us on our travels.
Yes.
Not always a good thing. Not always a good thing.
He's a lovely person, but it never works out.
No. Okay. The next card is relaxation. And this is about relaxing into your being. And I'm hearing having more body work done. Your body's craving physical touch. Your body's craving intimacy with other beings on this planet. And I'm hearing that there is one that you've been waiting for, that your heart's been waiting for. And to just be patient with this and relax into the fact that that is all there for you. Everything that you've yearned for in terms of having another human being to share your life with is just coming along. So it's just be patient as it's a co-creating process, and he is not quite there yet in terms of availability emotionally.
Oh,
I'm getting with that.
That's so important, isn't it, Linda?
Yeah. So it's not availability physically, it's availability emotionally, but he's definitely getting close, and the time will come when you will have all your dreams fulfilled, and be able to walk a path with someone who understands you and accepts you unconditionally, may not always get all the nuances, but gets enough of it and then offers so much more in terms of being with you, with your being, that the stuff that he doesn't quite get, it's okay. It's a non-issue. It's a non-issue. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to pull another card. So change. So change is on the horizon. That goes nicely with everything else here. Change is on the horizon for you. And as we both know, you are stepping into more change in your life.
I embrace change well.
You do embrace change well.
Yes.
You're ready to just kind of fly off the cliff into change. Because who knows what adventures you'll have with that change, correct?
Well, and the fact of the matter is whether it be relationships or change, the healthier that I become, the healthier all those experiences and ventures also become. And like your motto, go for the joy. That's simply how I live, is in joy. And wow, what a change from the part that sucked immensely.
Yes, yeah. So this is actually, I'm hearing with this change, it's a big change. You've had what would seem for other people big changes, but they're actually small for you. This is a total change, a total shaking up of how you've been living your life the past while. And it's going to seem unstable to other people, but not to you. You're going to embrace it fully. So it may seem that it's other people would go, well, I can't do that. And you're like, oh, this is exactly what I want. Exactly. You put your desires out there.
I'm a girl who steps outside of the box easy.
Yeah.
Who the heck wants a box anyway?
No matter how pretty it is, it's still just a box.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so change. So is there anything else you want to ask around that? Because we went through these quite quickly because you're so intuitive and on with everything that you're doing that there's just been mostly confirmation for you here and some encouragement.
Well, Linda, as we've talked a number of times, I believe every person honestly does know what the truth is. Unfortunately, in most cases, they're listening to what other people are saying around them, their loved ones, the people they work with, all these particular things. And for years and years, we hear enough decision and judgments from other wonderful, wonderful people who are only talking from their own hearts, their own fears, their own experiences, positive and negative. And even though they share this with really great love and great goodwill, unfortunately, we as individuals start to take that as knowledge, and it may be their truth, which may or may not be wonderful for them at this specific time. Mm-hmm. But it is learning to understand and honor our own truth.
Yeah.
And find out.
Yeah, to have the courage to honor our own truth.
Absolutely, and some days not like who we are, but also always remember the days we don't even like ourselves. It's important, as long as you love yourself, anything else can be changed. Mm-hmm. And man, it's a long journey to actually finding and loving yourself. It's a long, long journey.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. It's doable, man. It is so doable, and
I'm just
there's so many people. In fact, all people are looking for their own truth, and I guess as we speak on this telephone conversation, is remember we only do it one day and one moment at a time, and if we do it in joy, no matter whether the decision was great for us on any given moment, if you did it in joy, you haven't lost.
Exactly.
Lost.
I'm just going to interrupt a moment here, but hold that thought because I want to let everyone know that we've officially finished the reading.
Wonderful.
And now that I think I'm going to let everyone be privy to the kind of conversations that we have, this back and forth of information that supports both of us so well. And to be able to experience who you are, because Michal's going to be writing a book soon, and because she has so much to offer, and she's had such an amazing and a magnificent journey with many, many challenges that have not held her back, and precisely because she has the courage to be true to herself, and she's now willing to love herself, even though she doesn't like herself every minute. But I venture to say she does most of the time. So go on with the conversation, Michal.
Well, Linda, as you spoke, I think, one of the greatest moments, you and I had met many, many years ago, and didn't per se hang like we do now, but certainly the universe took us on an interesting journey that brought us really into each other's lives quite extensively. But let's go back to always the point of asking the question.
Yes.
Because that,
you have embraced that.
To me, really changed my life so dramatically, was when anything happened, saying, not what does this mean to Linda, or what does this mean to my dog, Sam. Yes, I don't have a dog, everybody, but I love him. But anyway, it was always asking, so what does this mean to Michal?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then stopping and not letting my brain answer it, letting, my higher self answer it.
Yes. So I have been having this communication through Facebook with different people, and through the readings as well, as asking the question, because this is a gift that Michal brought to me. She was house sitting for me in White Rock here, and looking after my animals whilst I was away. And Michal manages to find the people that she needs to find in different communities. She's quite good at that. And took an Access Consciousness bars class. And we got on the phone, and she said, oh, as soon as you get home, I have to run your bars. And then ran my bars twice and left me with some material. And so she's run with it, and that introduced me to Access Consciousness. And I've done more classes, but Michal really has worked with the questions and the clearing statements in such a magnificent way that she's always been kind of the light for me when I forget. So that's what's dramatically changed her life in the last, year?
Yes, approximately a year, and wow, that's been a quantum year, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and led her on to other things, and where she started blending that work with other work, quite with a lot of success for herself and for others. I've been on the receiving end of this as well. So asking the questions, what does it mean to me, right?
Yes, because, not me as a mom, not me as, whichever roles that you pick in life, simply asking, what does it mean to you as a soul, as simply who you are. And then, as you ask, and I'll clarify this because, of course, we're on a telephone call. For myself, I started working with angels and guides many years ago, and I was always told you have this entourage that is in your life, your guides, your teachers, beings of light that work with you. So when you ask this question, what does it mean to Michal, you're not just asking your higher self, you're asking your, quote, people that travel with you. And that's why you then leave it and walk away, and you're going to get your answer, whether it's 2 minutes from now, 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now, and it won't just be answered. Usually you're given some source or resource to solve this question as well. Mm.
And funnily enough, I've had the strangest little questions answered on just this odd piece of information I come across, and I ask myself, well, how'd that happen? What's that about? And then, the next day or later that day or 2 days later, I'm on the internet and I go, oh, well, there you go. It's very, very strange when that happens, especially if you're not, we get stuck with asking the question. Where we get stuck is wanting the answer to appear in a certain way.
Yes.
And when we're very invested in knowing something because we're stuck in some place in our life, it's kind of hard just to let it gently lie there. And in the gentle lying, that's when the energy starts to flow and bring you the answers in a way that you're able to receive it. Otherwise, it's bringing you answers and you're not even seeing it because it has no meaning for you because you want it to end a certain way. So
Limits us.
it limits us to the possibilities that are out there.
I was listening to some great information that came in through the internet, and it was talking about the subconscious and how our subconscious records everything. It's just a tape machine. And too often we go to our subconscious, to our brain, and you know what? We're just going to a tape machine.
Right.
That's all. It is recorded something from the previous. Well, you know, and I know, if we have not solved a problem in our life with existing knowledge that we have, we sure in the heck aren't going to do it again. So that's why going to outside resources, quote, your people,
Yeah.
etc., you're going to hear things from a limitless base of knowledge.
Right.
Knows absolutely each domino that's being flipped in the universe in any given moment.
Mm-hmm. And when you say about your guides and angels, for other people, you could even maybe say, if they have difficulty with that, is our higher self is connected to source, is connected to everything, which truly are all one.
Truly.
And so it's just that ability to be open to that and to be discerning about the information that comes your way too, because you may get some information, if it sits like a stone in you, it's not for you. It just isn't for you. You know, maybe some helpful person that's giving you some information, but it's not good for you, not true for you. So I always say, you know, if it feels light, you know, if your whole body kind of tingles and rises up with it, then that's something to explore. Otherwise, simply leave it alone. It may have been a solution for someone else, because when we're asking, we tend to just not let it lie, and we're still asking. We're constantly asking, and the universe is like, well, you asked already. Just be patient and let the answer come. But we're still talking about with other people, hoping we're going to get the answer, the answer, right? And all they can do is give us something from their own perspective, from their own experience.
Very much so.
And that doesn't mean it's good for us. We're all so unique. So,
well, in so much in that, and what I say to people, because you know we are wired for judgments. And first of all, someone reminded me last year, a very lovely friend of mine, who reminded and said, "Remember, Michal, when you judge yourself harshly, you judge everyone in your life harshly," and that stopped me in the moment. And it became real incentive for me to be kinder to myself, because I didn't want to be harsh with the people I loved or the animals I loved. You know, somehow that really called to me when I heard that little jewel of wisdom.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you're right. It's these little jewels of wisdom that we get. And what I also remember now, also when someone does give me a judgment, if it is a loved one, I know they're always offering me advice because they love me. So I may not be able to take their advice, but I always accept their love with joy.
Right.
And so, you know, I think, you know, in previous times I've felt this guilt sometimes for not taking the advice. The people pleaser, you know, feel some guilt. But, you know, always remember you accept the love, and that's really what they're offering.
Mm-hmm. I was listening to Anita Meran on the Hay House Summit, and she spoke about that when she had her near-death experience, and when she was on the other side, as it were. That was the knowing she had, that everything that she thought was being done to control her by her parents, they were doing it because they thought that was their way of loving her. And so when we can step aside from, because our buttons get pushed by different things, when we can step back and realize most of the time, people are just trying to love us in their own way. And they're trying to be helpful in their own way. So they try and connect with the essence of that person. And if they push your buttons, is just mentally send them love to soften the situation, which actually does work, I found. How about you?
It really, really does, and you're right. But I think, as we all know, I think it was one of Oprah's people who just said, when a button is pushed, there is no adults in the room. So I guess I must admit, as a human, some days I do really well with the button thing.
Yeah.
And then other days, it takes me a couple of days to come back with an adult in the room.
Well, I have to tell you a little story. Yesterday I have Jack's my furry friend, everyone, at the park, and we'd already walked around the park with him loose with another dog that he's familiar with, and they had a grand old time. And as we were leaving, I saw a woman with from a distance with a larger dog and two little dogs. So I put Jack on the leash because I didn't recognize them. And as we got closer, the larger dog was actually a big Rottweiler pup, probably about 6 months old, so a fair size, and then two tiny little Pomeranians. And Jack was on the leash, not fully extended. And she said to me, "Is he friendly?" And I said, "Mostly." And I had the leash in one hand and the coffee in the other. And minutes after I said that, Jack growled and went after one of these little Poms because his Pom wasn't on a leash and came up nose to nose with Jack, which in dog world is kind of rude.
Okay.
And so I pulled him back, and I don't get upset about stuff like this. He hadn't hurt the dog. And she said to me, "You should put him down on his side." And as soon as she said that, I had a button pushed.
Oh, wow.
Should. You should.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Well, I don't do that," which is not true because I have done that.
Right.
I have done that. And I said, "And my dog's on a leash and yours aren't." So like I'm already in this confrontational energy with her. And so I find myself trying to step back from that, right?
Right.
And she's walking away muttering, and I'm yelling after her, "I'm very sorry. I'm very, very, very sorry. I'm so sorry." But I'm still a little ticked. So even my apology, I'm sure, didn't feel very sincere to her. So it was just funny to watch. So, I came home and did some clearing statements around this button. I could have said to her, "You're right, I'm wrong." Simply let it go like that, rather than choose to engage with her. But the interesting thing is I'm trying to sort through this, and the energy she had with her, which was quite not very friendly and accommodating. This morning at the dog park, I'm telling this woman there about it, and she said, "Oh, I know her. She's not very nice." So I thought, oh, it wasn't really about me, because it never is, right? Well, it never is. And the interesting thing is, in that situation, I did not say, "Is your dog okay?" I didn't go and pet the dog. Normally I would do that, because then Jack realizes I'm okay with this dog, then he's okay with this dog. But I didn't do it. And for what, it was as if there was some part of me holding myself back from doing that. So it was interesting that my being was asking what it was all about. And obviously we were co-creating. And obviously I'm still, this should word is a button that gets pushed so easily in us.
And so ultimately the question, as you were putting Jack on the leash, was almost like yourself symbolically too.
Yes.
Generally we are friendly, right?
Yes.
And the fact is sometimes we almost put ourselves on a leash, saying, "Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be a good experience for me."
Right.
But ultimately, like you say, you went back, you worked on it, you asked the questions, and you came back with with a little more knowledge about who Linda is.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess that brings us to the point where, I don't know about you, but I've often had people say, man, I've worked on this problem with myself and I thought I got so far, but it's that realization that, ultimately every day of our lives, we continue to grow. Growth never stops.
Yeah.
And so
part of the interesting,
we're going to draw some interesting experiences.
Yeah. And part of that, too, is reading energies. I was in a space where I wasn't really paying attention. And so I know that if I do pay attention, for instance, I was in another park with Jack and a woman with a dog, and there was a young man there that was talking to himself on a bench and then laughed out loud. And, I read his energy, and his energy was fine. I mean, mentally ill, yes, but not threatening energy at all. And yet this other woman looked at him and said, oh, well, he's a druggie. I've seen him around. He's a druggie. And I said, oh, no, he's not high at all. So it's like being able to read that energy with people, and I'm finding that when I'm really in the moment, I'm seeing that with people more often. I'm seeing the little storm cloud around them, or the shock that they've just experienced or something. It's so visceral almost.
Yes, and it can be absolutely so momentarily that even when it does happen to ourselves, because life happens, that we can be from one moment bopping along and in a great place and into shock. But don't you find, there again, it's not that we do not experience shocks, but it's a different thing where it's almost like we say, okay, I've just felt the shock. Man, this sucks. What do I have in my toolkit or my first aid kit that's going to assist me in bringing us to a gentle, wonderful place quickly and with ease and with love.
Yeah.
Most important, with love. So we can get on to life's next life experience. Without it being too traumatic. I know certainly my brother and his wife had a health experience not that long ago with their father, and he's currently in the hospital with many challenges due to a stroke. But the whole family goes into shock, and families and people, when we go into shock, we tend to make all our buttons hypersensitive, especially when families come back together and start living together in a crisis. And wow, those buttons that were installed as children just seem to get red hot.
Right. So as we wrap up this conversation then, just share with us how you would deal with, what kind of tools would you pull out for that? Just kind of walk us through the process a little bit.
Well, I think one of the first things that I would do is, some people, if you think more on a religious modality, would pray. I would say, you never have to bring religious background or whichever. I always say just talk to the God of your understanding. And the first thing I usually do is, ask for healing and love for everybody involved. That would be my first thing in the toolkit.
Right.
And to take a nice deep breath. And even in taking breath, we so often forget to breathe. When we all hit a moment of crisis.
Yes. Yeah.
And whatnot. And then, again, ask your people, your guides, your teachers, whatever your comfort zone is, and ask for their assistance in all of this. And I don't know about you, Linda, but I find I spent most of my life thinking I was alone.
Yes.
And I had no one to assist me, and this is from the time I was a tiny, tiny child.
Yes.
When you feel alone and you feel tiny and you feel small, it's a desperate place.
Yes.
Open the door and realize, you know what? I always walk in with these amazing beings.
Yes.
Some of them on the planet, and some are these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beings. And I don't have to do this alone.
Right.
But most important,
yes,
let me call love and healing to myself now, and then I ask for their guidance to show me how to do this
yes,
in the kindest way for everyone involved.
yes, yeah, yeah.
And then listen with my heart.
Yeah. And then you go into using some of the Access Consciousness tools, and it's the heart code, is it?
Yes, the emotion code with Dr. Nelson Bradley. Very lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Very lovely.
And Access Consciousness, which is Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Heer's work. So
very much so.
And everyone has their own. If anyone's been delving into this work, will find different ways. But the more that you explore and study, the more tools you have. So if one doesn't work because you're not able to access it easily, because perhaps it's a little too complicated, what Michal said was perfect, is that you ask for love and healing in the situation immediately. And just that softens your energy. It softens the whole situation, just that asking. And if that's all you can do in the moment, that's more than most people will do. So don't be afraid to be as simple as that, if that's all you can do, because it's more than enough. That's what I'm hearing. It's more than enough, dear ones. You forget the power that you have, the power in your prayers. And for some of you that may not sit well, but we mean the prayers as you're sending out of your energy to those that are in need, those that are hurting. It has tremendous power to heal, to uplift, and to shift energy. And so not to be stuck in the problems and the chaos that you see around you. Know that there is something unfolding from this, and you may not know what it is and how it will turn out, but know that it's expanding and healing everything on your planet. You're all magnificent beings of light and love, and we love you so much. Thank you. Oh, I love it when they pop in. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to finish recording this.
Yes.
And Michal and I will keep chatting. Meanwhile, everyone, have a fabulous day. I hope you enjoyed this little chat. I hope to be able to do this with more people that I'm connected with that have so much experience and valuable information to offer. And hope that these sessions will help people develop another way of looking at things, another perspective, in order to move through their life more smoothly. So, go with joy, everyone, and send the love out. Take care. Bye-bye.